So now I see how Ian does it.
That's what it is. Clone Trooper Hauser.
Oh, no you don't. Almost there. Almost there. Heads away! Hello everyone and welcome to You'll Probably Agree. I'm with John Davies from Sinema Obscura and yeah, well, guess what? The Bad Batch finally had an episode that wasn't a rescue mission. Stuff happened in it, and I think it confirmed one of our theories that the Bad Batch builds the rebellion or helps build the rebellion. And
yeah, it looks like they're a huge part of it this time.
Yes. I mean, because now we get to, before we get into spoilers, I mean, this episode, I liked it because it was what I wanted the last episode to be. When they started in the beginning and there was this
story progression, what do you know?
Yeah, this king.
You brought the audience back. Take notes if you're writing a series. Take notes because you know, story progression actually keeps the audience involved, and we're not going to complain so much.
Exactly.
It was solid episode, man. Lots of good stuff.
Yeah, I want to actually watch it again because I think there was so much that happened in it. I'd miss some stuff. And you know what the thing is that happened in this episode that it all was that people hated about the prequels? Politics. It was all politics, but it was interesting to watch because it wasn't people talking about trade disputes. You know, we were basically getting imagery of World War II France when, you know, they ended up surrendering to the Germans and, you know, the Germans occupied the country and they, you know, the French had to basically convince everyone like, hey, it's okay, you know. And of course you had the French resistance who was, you know, fighting underneath that, who were working with the Allies to a certain degree, you know, in any way they could. And that's sort of what this was. And that's, I mean, what the rebellion was sort of about in the original Star Wars. You know, it was sort of about, let's say, the resistance towards, you know, Nazis, imperialism, and also the resistance against hate, right? And I'm glad that they're going into those areas of the politics in the show. Where I'm like, yeah, this is sort of what I wanted to see when I saw space politics. And it was interesting to watch, you know, these people basically have to walk away and build. I mean, last episode we had that chancellor, or not chancellor, like a king. He looked like a king. And he walked away from his people with the Bad Batch so then he could help his people in a way where politics are no longer something that can be used. And here they really expanded on that and they just focused on that. And I really appreciated that this episode actually respected the audience's time and their intelligence. You know, they didn't just have a bunch of people shooting shit. And those are the episodes I always like the best. Those are always the movies I like the best. If you look at something like Batman Begins, the action is terrible. But we remembered the movie so well for the story. And here we're at least getting, I'm not saying that they wrote fucking Hamlet, but, you know, they're building upon a foundation and writing a story where things are kind of interesting and actually building upon the world of Star Wars, and I appreciated that. And I think John's dying on the game, but
No, I'm doing all right. I'm Anakin. I'm trying not to die.
Yeah.
A little bit too focused, maybe.
Yeah. But
yeah,
now that
we saw Ryloth, we saw the Twi'lek's involvement in, you know, the beginnings of the rise of the Imperials. It's like, what are the Imperials going to do? They're just going to start by taking your weapons away and, you know, making you docile, which, like, in the back of my head, I keep thinking of them trying to pull that shit on Kashyyyk, and it's not going to work, and we already know what happens there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it worked on the Twi'leks, you know. their senators were like, yeah, just give up your guns, blah, blah, blah. We'll be okay. We can trust the clone troopers. They were here to fight the droids that, were also sent by the same guy. But we don't know that.
I like the fact that they were showing the clone troopers and they're like, look, they helped us, they defended us, we can trust them. And the whole and we know, it's like, and even the clone troopers themselves in this episode were saying stuff like, are we sure this is a good idea? Should we be doing this?
Yep.
And it's like, we already see that inhibitor chip has its limitations, I think.
It only did one thing. Like, if these guys were in the field long enough and they had, grew morals or whatever and friendships with people, there's only so far that Order 66 is going to take them.
Exactly.
It's Hauser specific. It's Hauser, like you mentioned it. Clone Trooper Hauser is like.
Is that his name? Yeah.
He's like, what are we doing here? And that right there is like, okay, they're starting to sow seeds of the clone rebellion. And
yeah.
Dude, that's amazing. It's like clones versus stormtroopers. Obviously they have, what's his name? The sniper dude. They have the sniper dude.
Crosshair.
Yeah, Crosshair. So he's going to be like the leader of the stormtroopers versus. Man, it's just like they're doing a lot of stuff in this episode just by itself. They're doing a lot of stuff, and that's one of them.
Yeah.
Number 2 is holy cow, we got Chopper. Mm-hmm. That was amazing.
Did we?
As soon as I saw that little periscope pop up, I was like, oh shit, that's Chopper.
Oh shit, the little robot friend. Yes, we had Chopper and Syndulla.
It's Hera.
Hera, see? I don't remember some of these characters as well. With
I think their last name is Syndulla. The family name is Syndulla.
That's it, yeah. Because I was asking you, like, wait a minute, how'd she lose her French accent? Was it like Mel Gibson and how he lost his Aussie accent?
Well, that's also something that I think they're trying to, sneak in on you.
I think so.
My crazy-ass theory of Omega eventually becoming a Phasma. Her accent would have to change. Right, the way that she speaks changed. Darth Vader sounds nothing like Anakin. We know why. He's got stuff plugged into his face and blah blah blah. But
yeah,
his tone and his demeanor absolutely changed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Darth Maul changed. He had 2-3 lines in the movie that he was in, and then holy cow, he's got a personality. And so they're sowing all these seeds and doing all this stuff in this one episode. And touches back to, I think, what you said last week, where it's like once they get back to the bulk of what they actually wrote instead of the side mission BS to stretch it into 16 missions, we're going to have some good stuff.
Yeah.
Here we are, episode 11. 5 to go, and hopefully the next 5 are going to be just as good.
I'm really hoping the final episode is going to be like an hour and a half like the pilot was.
It would have to be. I mean, that's been their track record. That's what they do.
Oh, really?
With these shows.
So if the last episode's an hour and a half, we might get all that shit. The Clone Rebellion, all of it. Mm-hmm. And then Tamura Morrison can be cast as clones in live action. And, oh, dude, it's like, who would have ever thought we'd be nostalgic for the prequels,
Well, that's what, I don't know, that's what I'm hoping that this series eventually does for the messy-ass sequels. Before the Clone Wars television series came out, everybody was like, screw the prequels, they're blah, 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 it's just a bunch of this and that, and nobody cares. But now, you just said it, we love it. You're falling back in love with it. They do have their problems, yes, of course they do. All movies do.
Yeah.
Those ones especially.
Yes. Yes.
It's like they gave us a reason to love these characters and just breathe depth into the franchise. And it's, it's fantastic. Actually,
I agree. I totally agree, and you'll probably agree too. Is that
this? It's just nice.
It is, because the nice thing is that I think with the prequels, nobody objected to the overall vision. I didn't object to Coruscant and these incredible, breathtaking. Because in '99, when that movie came out, yes, there are some visual effects that do not hold up, but I think there are a lot of visual effects that do hold up. I think Coruscant looks fantastic. I think Naboo is gorgeous, and all the. it's like he had these incredible ideas, just he didn't have the script around the ideas. But what he had was fantastic, and now these guys are coming over and they're like, we'll fill in the gaps, we'll write some real sort of, personal material around these characters, we'll make you care about the clones,
Yeah, they connect. Then they connect the dots in the ways that, like, one with all our, they're like, throw all the fan theories out. These are the dots that are connected, and this is how this went. This is what this was. Blah blah blah, and that's kind of nice. Like I've said previously on the show that, Star Wars, like, not knocking it at all, but Star Wars in general is kind of hollow. Like there's a bunch of question marks in the middle, and that's where the animation and the live action television comes in and like really solidifies it and gives you that solid hunk of chocolate instead of a hollow bunny.
Yes, yes, exactly. Because Star Wars was always just kind of like just 3 movies, if you think about it.
It's a whole bunch of great ideas, but it's just a bunch of random stuff, really.
Yeah, I mean, it was really, Roger Ebert said it was like 3 movies, and then nothing really more than that. He couldn't see it stretch beyond that. And then, I think he saw the prequels, and he liked episode 1, and he liked it because he saw the world building in it, right? So that made him excited. And he liked he did not like episode 2 because it was just a bunch of bullshit, It was just like cool action scenes that looked like a cartoon, even for its time. But he liked the 3rd one because of, all the things that happen in it, even if it wasn't as good as, it could have been. But here it's like he kind of like saw, I think, what like a lot of audiences didn't see, which was like he saw it's like there are some amazing ideas here that like are basically kind of visionary. There's still no world like Star Wars. I mean, I was kind of disappointed with the sequels where it's like, okay, look, movie 1 can be your like nostalgia film, but then bring back the prequel stuff, man. Like, don't ignore the movies completely. That's just a pussy move. And, now I just like how Disney's now embracing the prequels and building something on that and, like, making people give a shit about them.
Yeah, and you said it, there really is nothing like Star Wars. There's nothing that has literally an entire universe, planets full of different species, and, interstellar travel in between it. And, Star Trek kind of touches on it a little bit, but I don't know. Star Trek doesn't have like one dude trying to rule everything.
Yeah.
Or magic.
Well, Star Trek is
so much in the Star Wars world. It's like,
yeah,
it's kind of unbelievable how much there is in there too, really. And these live action shows and the cartoons just like keep digging at it and like, what else is out there? What else? What else can we basically make up, but like still make sense in the Star Wars universe? And it works.
Right.
Jawas work. Droids work.
Yeah.
Everybody losing their right hand works. Sure, why not?
Everybody loses their right hand. Did anyone else lose it? Oh, wait, no, Loki lost his, like, left hand this week, which, I mean, that's another show where, I mean, I love what Marvel's doing with the television stuff. I'm glad that they're not doing these big movies. I think Kevin Feige said he doesn't want to do big movies because it's just going to be, I don't know why. He just said he's not going to do big movies. He has no plans for it right now. If I even guess, they don't want to, like, they reach such a high mark, they don't want to fall from that mark. So, like, low risk, high reward.
They don't need to burn it out either. They can,
yeah.
Just relax a little bit. Endgame and Infinity War were pretty awesome, but it's like we could step back a little bit and have some fun with, back to magic and stuff with the WandaVision and, whatever the hell's going on the Loki show.
Yeah.
That's some great stuff.
It is. Oh, yeah. It is. There's such different shows. I was worried, like, when they said they were going to do these Marvel shows, I just kind of imagined every show being like Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's just all stylistically the same. And luckily it's not, that's not the case at all. They actually are kind of taking more creative chances with it and stuff like that. And Bad Batch certainly isn't like a show that takes creative chances, but it's certainly one that builds upon the Clone Wars and stuff like that to actually re-engage fans in material that has left an incredibly bad taste in everyone's mouth for a long period of time. Because if we remember the first Star Wars celebration when Force Awakens was going to come out, that whole Star Wars celebration was like an anti-prequel bash fest, Everything was like, hey, it's the way you remember it. It's cool again. Look, Millennium Falcon. And there was like a quote from Mark Hamill on this, on the set of, Force Awakens, where he said like real sets, practical effects. What that's like a jab at the green screens and all that.
Yeah.
And then the next year, once, they kind of got the nostalgia film out of their system and said, see, we're not going to do the prequels again, they invite Ahmed Best to the show, and they invite Hayden Christensen and Ian McDiarmid and everyone from the prequels, and they allow the time to heal, for the fans who are still sort of embittered. And in the meantime, they have the Clone Wars where the younger kids like it, and then they tell the older guys like me about it, and then some other guys tell us, you know what I mean. So they did a good job at taking their time and re-implementing the interest of the prequels into fans' minds. Like Battlefront 1, there were no prequel maps. Battlefront 2, there were prequel maps. We're playing a prequel map right here. After time, that's why George Lucas said people will like it later, And the thing is, I don't really like it later. I just like the ideas around it, and I like what was written for it, around these worlds. But I do wonder, do you think like Disney had a plan on like rewriting the prequels, and Lucas said in the paperwork, no, you can't do that?
I think they do. I think Disney wants to erase, everything but the stuff with their name on it.
Yeah.
Like because so they can pay less for it in the long run, probably. But I mean, it's just crazy. Just leave them alone. They are what they are. I mean, even the original trilogy has its flaws. Just leave it alone. Kind of just let these. If there's any future movies coming out, Zack Snyder or whoever wants to make, Star Wars horror or more action related stuff, go nuts. Some side movies, that's cool. Not everything needs to be a trilogy. Not everything needs to be an origin story.
Yeah.
But the animation, the live action shows are going to give us more bulk, and I'm totally cool with that.
Yeah. Well, television is a writer's medium in the end. Television allows you to take your time and stretch out your ideas. Where something like a 2 or even 3 hour movie, you only have so much time and you have to condense everything. So yeah, I think Disney really had a plan with television that I don't think people really could conceptualize until we saw it, which was their television shows aren't like this sort of production value quality we've seen before on television. Now it looks just as good as the movies. And with that, they can just keep making these shows for a little less money, but still pay a lot of money for it. And I don't know, I guess that's part of their phase in taking out the theaters, which won't happen. But but it's sort of like a low risk, high reward thing. And the way these shows look now, I would have never given a shit to see live action prequel stuff if it was going to look like shit. If it was going to look like something from the Sci-Fi Channel, why would I care? But because it looks literally just as good as the damn movies on a small screen, if you project it on a 35 millimeter screen, God forbid a 70 millimeter, it's going to look like a video game. They said it like in the behind the scenes stuff. They use the Unreal Engine to create the background effects in The Mandalorian. Because of this technology that they created, they are kind of honoring George Lucas because he's always been a revolutionary about technology. You know, he invented the nonlinear editing system with the editing droid. He, invented as much as we hate it, he did invent. He basically did not invent, but really cement CGI. He made using digital the absolute front of the medium. And now Disney's sort of honoring that, and we're getting rid of the green screen, replacing them with sort of this updated version of rear projection. You know, like if you think of the scene where the guy's driving in the car and you just see like the fake background, it's like that. But here it's like a full 3D environment and everyone can see what they're doing. And with that, you bring the effects into the story more, and it's like George Lucas if he were a good writer is what we're watching. You know, we're watching, although this is a kid show and it's got corny lines and stuff like that, we're still watching something that's building upon a world and creating something that is engaging for everyone to see. And I mean, from here, I guess I'm trying to think if there were any memorable scenes from this episode. I was surprised that the Bad Batch only appeared, I think for like, what, one scene and then they left? Because I think even then the writers are like, okay, people are going to get mad if we do another rescue mission. So they're like, okay, we won't show the part where they arrive, like where they try to find the planet or whatever.
I mean, it was still a mission, but we just saw the other side of it. Like
Exactly.
the other, like the Bad Batch part of it, like they had the boring ass, deliver weapons, and some bullshit probably happened on the way, that they squeezed in and out of, and it was fine or whatever.
Yeah.
Omega probably learned something new, blah blah blah. But it's like we see the other side of it, and a little bit more depth into what is actually going on with the rest of the universe. Basically, it's like they've been so focused on 4 dudes and one little girl for a while. It's like there's a lot of stuff going on in the universe. Let's get back to that.
Yep.
And they kind of did that with this episode. It was nice.
Yeah, well, Star Wars is a universe. That's why I was kind of like a little disappointed when I saw Luke Skywalker pick up Grogu and Mandalorian. But it worked in the end because we know what happens to Luke in the sequels, so they kind of connected that way. Because you're going to be like, oh, it's so sweet, but you're like, oh, wait, everyone gets massacred in that place. Probably not and Grogu would still be, what, he'd be like a teenager at that point? I don't know. He's like 50 years old and he's like an infant. Yeah. But what do you?
Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, I like that I saw the Bad Batch only for a few minutes because I think even then, like all the whole writing department just said, look, like people are gonna, why don't we just show the other side of what's going on? People want to see some story. We can't keep fucking around with this. Because I'm not a big fan of action scenes in general unless it ties to the story. Because I'll say the Clone Wars has a lot of lightsaber fights that just go on endlessly. Jesus Christ, just end the damn fight already.
Yeah, but this one, I don't know. And there was like that moment when Hera was laying down and then you see Ahsoka's bird fly over, right? Mm-hmm. And then, she lifts her arm up and then 3 more birds fly over her arm perfectly. Like, is she touched? Is that how she got to know Caleb/Kanan? And could she feel the Force a little bit?
Yeah.
It's just something that I don't know. I just thought about that when because I don't know, she put her arm up at the exact time that those other 3 birds came by. And
yeah.
Did she like lay down to like drive some birds around with the Force? Like, what is she doing? What is she doing over there?
I have a theory that everyone in the Star Wars universe has the Force, no matter the midichlorian count, and Disney's trying to find a way of sort of revising what midichlorians actually means.
Well, I mean, I still hold steady that the destruction of 2 gigantic kyber crystals could, like, I guess, put more Force power out into the universe just by that. So maybe that was part of the plan.
Yeah, well,
you know,
you can write whatever you want because it's fucking space magic.
Yeah.
Like, who cares?
They
Like,
did blow up
none of this
2
shit has to make sense. That anything making sense immediately went out the window
kyber
along with
crystals.
Carrie Fisher's body in space.
Pretty much. Like, Endor is just full of Force power, full Ewoks. They're all down there just, like, throwing rocks at each other. And
Yeah. The Force is the best way to just sort of, like, write up for any plot armor. Like, how do you do that? The Force. Why did that happen? The Force. Okay. I wonder how much of this... I'm sorry?
So I was just gonna make some stupid thing about the Force ghosts and whatnot. Like, oh yeah, okay, whatever, sure.
Yeah.
Like,
Did he
Han
die?
Solo's
No, he's a
nothing to do
Force
with the
ghost
Force.
now. The audience wants him back.
It's like, why the hell is Han Solo a Force ghost? Harrison Ford doesn't even know.
Was he a Force ghost, or was he just like a schizophrenic memory? Like, what the hell was that?
I don't know. It shouldn't have been there.
Like, that made no sense. I love the fact that Harrison Ford didn't even shave for that scene. He just came in with, like, stubble. He's like, I'll just do the fucking scene. Just tell me where to stand. All right. Oh, I miss you.
He didn't want to do 2 movies.
You have to check. You're not going to land another door on my foot, are you?
They were lucky to get him for 4 movies. He didn't want to. He wanted to die in the first one. Like,
yes, he did. That's why he seems so chipper in the advertising for Force Awakens. Yeah, I'm glad. So I'm trying to understand Syndulla and her family a little bit, because I was watching the episode. I was a little lost on who was who, because I'm like, is that the girl who is in Rebels that is Freddie Prinze Jr.'s girlfriend?
Yes.
And
yeah, the little girl that gets arrested. The one that I was just talking about that, like, puts her arm up and like flying birds, like has the birds fly over them.
Yes.
The same bird that Ahsoka used.
Oh yes, she does have that bird. She looks up at the end, or Vader looks up at the end of Clone Wars and sees the bird when he picks up Ahsoka's lightsaber in Hoth.
It's because Ahsoka was watching him. She was there.
Wow. Oh yeah, she has the owl also in fucking Mandalorian. I keep forgetting about that stupid bird. But yeah, that definitely has something to do with Ahsoka. You're gonna see her in this show, I guarantee you. That's not gonna be whatever cartoon characters they got. They're gonna show up in here, you know.
Yep. Yeah, and I mean, it's nice that they're, like, tying it back into Rebels, because they did have, you know, Caleb, who eventually grows up and becomes Kanan. That was the very first episode, and you're like, oh, holy shit! Like, they're just jumping right into it, and then, you know, they drop that ball for 10 episodes.
They'll bring it back.
Right back at you. It's like, okay, cool.
They'll bring it back. That's the best part of. You ever see The Prestige? You always got to bring it back. That's the whole idea.
So give me Chopper, give me Hera, give me
That's part of the magic trick. That's what they're gonna do for us. I mean, you have to. They're gonna bring Kaden back. I keep trying not to say Caleb. I get Caleb and Kaden confused, because you have Caleb from the video game, and, you know, played by the redheaded guy from Shameless.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and then you got Kaden, who's you know, played by Freddie Prinze Jr.
Well, Caleb is his name before Order 66. He, like, goes into hiding and changes his name to Kanan.
Oh,
So
okay.
they call him Caleb when he's with his master, and she gets blasted.
Oh, okay.
Wrecker Is it Wrecker lets him get away, or Hunter lets him get away? Somebody lets him get away.
It was
Oh, yeah, he
Hunter,
goes into
and then
hiding.
like Echo was
He goes
pissed
into
off. He
hiding
let him
and
get
then-
away.
Not
Yeah,
Echo. What's his Sniper dude?
yeah, Crosshair.
Yeah, Crosshair.
Yeah, but did I say Echo? Yeah, no, not robot guy. Sniper guy. I don't know. They're all like classes in a video game, except and like Hunter's like the squad leader. Which, whatever, cool. As long as you write cool characters around him, I'm fine with that.
Pretty much the 4 classes in this video game.
Yeah, exactly. You have the
Hunter's
Hunter, you
Assault,
have Assaults, Sniper.
Tech is the...
He's like the hacker. That's like when you play like Deus Ex, he'd be like that character. But, well, not quite. He wouldn't be as tough, but still. Okay, I'm gonna blow you. I'm gonna shoot you in the face. Fuck you, Grievous. But yeah, I am glad to see. I am interested to see what the last 2 episodes are gonna be. But it's so long from now. I'm just like, I don't want to wait that long. I wish they released it all at once.
If the next 5 were just like this, then I'll be fine with that.
Yeah.
If there's no more like, I don't want to say it like, just poopy rescue or retrieval missions. There's no more of that, and it's like, let's dig into some Star Wars. Let's get something, let's build this rebellion. Let's,
Yep.
maybe see some Wookiees. I don't know.
I mean, we did see.
I don't know. I keep coming back to that. Like, I keep thinking about the Empire trying to pull what they pulled on Ryloth here on Kashyyyk, and it's just not going to fly, man. They're not going to. They're not going to be happy about it. Let's see that happen. Let's go back to Naboo. I don't know.
Oh, I think we'll go back to some places. I'm not sure if it'll be Naboo or, well, you could. Why not? I don't know. How many planets are in the Star Wars universe? I guess it's infinite, right? Because they just warp between galaxies. And somehow they don't get spaghettied when they do that. But I wonder if you came up with any theories this week with this episode. I can't. The only one I'm coming up with is that we're going to see a clone rebellion in the end. Like the last episode, I'm hoping this season will be an epic brawl between the clones.
Like doubting everything and like looking around and like, are we really doing all this? Is this really the direction we're going? Like him doing that, like kind of solidifies your theory for me, I guess, that the clone rebellion is coming in this series. That's pretty awesome. But yeah, the Hera thing is really the only thing I can think of. Like maybe she's touched by the Force a little bit. I mean, if she laid down to like drive some birds around or like fly birds around with the Force, it's like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Oh, she'll definitely be Force sensitive.
She was arrested.
Yeah.
And maybe we get to see Caleb and her like team up for the first time. And maybe we see the birth of the rebels also at the end of this series, or somehow in the midst of this series we see the birth of the rebels. We've already seen 3 of them. Chopper, Hera, and Kanan. When do they meet up with the other dudes? When do they get the ghost? Finally, there's some connection.
Yeah, I wonder. Well, what I'm wondering is when is Kenobi coming out and Boba Fett? I want to see if they're gonna bring these characters in those shows in any way. Like,
oh, they will.
Yeah.
Boba Fett's wrapped. They're just post-production now.
I know he's now Tamura Morrison's chilling in the Polynesian spa.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Which I still gotta do that green screen video. But it was funny. I think you kept telling me how like Rise of Skywalker was like Goonies. And well, so far I haven't seen it so far. I've gotten 40 minutes into it. Maybe that's why. But there was one shot that was definitely ripped straight from Goonies.
Oh,
and that's
like
when
they're using the stupid sword.
Yes.
to locate the Exegol finding treasure
Yes.
map. That makes absolutely no. Yeah, come on, it's absolutely Goonies. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that shot right
Why
there.
would you? Why would you? Like, all of us grew up watching Star Wars. Most of us have also seen that movie. Why the hell would you do that to us? For real,
Yeah.
like, who wrote that? Who put that in that movie? It's so annoying.
Probably someone in Disney. No, you know what? I guarantee you it's J.J. Abrams, because he's like, I like Goonies as a kid, and all
Why
I
not just
do
have
is...
Finn do the fucking shuffle truffle? Oh my god, dude, come on, do the truffle shuffle. Why not? You know, have Ray do it, have Finn do it. You know,
Did you just say have Ray do it?
have Ray do it. Yeah, why not? Have Ray do the
Yeah,
truffle
oh,
shuffle.
man, that would be a very different kind of truffle shuffle.
If you're gonna make a mockery of Star Wars by throwing in some Goonies bullshit. God,
Fucking hate that
that makes me just as mad as them dropping the Ryan Gosling joke. In Blade
Which one
Runner.
was that?
Like, he doesn't like real girls. They say it twice in reference to Lars and the Real Girl. They say it fucking twice, dude. It's so annoying.
Which Star
Why
Wars
the
thing
hell?
was this?
It's Blade Runner 2049.
Oh
He's
my
like,
god, did they
I love that
really?
movie.
Oh shit, was that a reference? I thought it was just because he was a replicant. Because I've seen Lars and the Real Girl. I didn't think it was like a reference to that.
He doesn't like real girls. Why else would they say that? He doesn't like real girls.
Because he only likes,
Because he was in the movie.
it probably, yeah,
Imagine,
that's
imagine if
stupid.
they made that joke like around Han Solo. You know, if he does like the one shot on the bridge against somebody with a lightsaber and he just puts him down. You know, the famous scene from dude, it's just like, you know, I'm like in my head and on a tangent.
No, I like it.
It's like, don't reference movies that we've already seen, you guys. What are you doing?
It's very
What the hell are
lazy.
you doing?
Star Wars references stuff, but, you know, they're like television shows and things like that and ancient mythology. You know, Joseph Cotton
Yeah,
material.
not
Not
a
Joseph
straight
Cotton. What
up
the hell am I
Goonies
talking about?
reference. You know, not a
Kurosawa, Saturday
Don't
morning
poke
serials.
fun at the lead character. You know, mentioning an older film that they did.
Oh,
in
God.
These movies. Do it in other movies. That's fine. That's fine. You know, but not in these ones. Not in the ones that have like these hardcore fans that have actually seen other stuff.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
If I was brand new to film and maybe I'd never seen anything else, you know, if I'd never seen Goonies and I'd never caught it, you know, I wouldn't have caught that. But it just brings it down to a level that I just can't handle, man. Seriously.
No, that's what I felt. Like, when I saw that shot in Goonies, I just went, what the fuck? Like, I said that out loud. I was like, oh my God.
Really? It's like that was 35 years ago.
Like, who's like, oh my God, a Goonies reference in Star Wars? Yeah. Like, no, man, you're not Marvel.
Especially having it like being a huge plot point. What are you doing? What are you even doing?
Because they didn't know what they were doing with that movie. That whole production was a clusterfuck. Because Disney dug themselves into a hole. Disney basically gave JJ the nostalgia picture, and then they were like, okay, Ryan, write your own movie. You're the artist. You're going to take it in another direction. Off you go. And then the fans hated it, and then Disney went, oh no, what do we do?
Yeah. Oregon Trail in space didn't work. What's next? I have no idea. Let's do Space Goonies. Yeah, let's do that. That'll be hilarious.
Did I show you?
Let's do inside jokes and like nods to the audience every once in a while. How about that? Okay, sure, whatever. Star Wars.
Did I ever show you that? I think I sent you a text, and I think it was about The Last Jedi and Oregon Trail. And one of the people who liked the text was Oregon Trail, or the Twitter thing. Yeah, it was like the Oregon Trail game. So Disney, I'm gonna just make that as a Flash game.
There's Oregon Trail too, because there's a side mission where they go to a cool casino and meet a guy. But yeah, it's basically Oregon Trail. The movie.
Well, having said that, I'm excited to see where they go next. I'm excited to see. I really want to see a Clone Rebellion. I really do. Like
More progression, more story progression. That's all. That's all we really ask for. It's
yeah.
been 8 episodes of round and round and go get this, go get that. You know.
Yeah.
We don't need that. We need
Nobody
story
likes that shit.
progression.
Nobody likes that shit. But that's why it's nice when they actually get back to the real script. Because like when I looked at those IMDb credits and I saw this one woman's name for like all 16 episodes with like some occasional other writers, I went, okay, I think this is like her idea, and somewhere along the way, or not her idea, but like she kind of like fleshed it out, maybe for Filoni, I don't know. But you know, they were like, oh, that Disney said, hey, we need 16 episodes. She said, oh, okay, and then you know. She had to write rescue missions. I'm pretty sure like someone in the office said, look, if you ever get stuck, write a rescue mission.
They get trapped on an ice planet.
Yeah.
Run out of gas.
Yeah.
What? What? Just waste an episode. It's cool. Nobody cares except 2 guys on the iPod.
Yeah. Whoever rewatches the filler episodes from the Clone Wars, like, no, man, just take me straight to the fucking mall episode.
You pretty much skip 2.5 years of the Clone Wars and you'll be good.
Yep. Yeah, pretty much.
For real.
Yeah.
Nothing really happens in the beginning.
No, because originally it was just like a kid's show, and I don't think Dave Filoni was given like a lot of freedom to actually probably put in the stuff he wanted. I'm not sure. Either that or like he was just allowed to screw up for years, you know?
Alright, here comes Anakin, we're gonna win it.
Oh, Jesus, there's a lot of motherfuckers here. What the hell is that gonna do? You just waved your hand around a bunch of robots, Obi-Wan. What does that do? It's stupid. Obi-Wan's kind of a lame character to spawn as. But if there's one live action thing from Star Wars you'd love to see more than anything, what would it be? Would it be like Boba Fett kicking ass? Would it be live action Ahsoka with Anakin and Obi-Wan?
I'd say more bounty hunters besides Boba Fett. I want to see the other ones. IG-88. I want to see Zuckuss. I want to see the rest of them. I want to see Greedo, man. Like, come on.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of bounty hunters out there that aren't in Mandalorian armor. Let's get to those guys.
Yeah. I mean, we did get IG-11. It was pretty cool, but I want to see like 88, where he's like maybe has like a hateful AI.
Like if they just straight up do there's a book called Tales of the Bounty Hunters. That's
yeah, I had it as a kid.
You know, it's a story from each one of them, almost each one of them, because Zuckuss and 4-LOM are teamed up, but whatever. If they do those, I will be fucking ecstatic. That IG-88 story is amazing.
And have Zack Snyder direct it.
Downloads himself into the Death Star, and he's like almost a sentient Death Star. Like, what the fuck? That's just an insane idea, dude, seriously.
Yeah. Well, there's so much they can pluck from. I wonder if that's why. I wonder why did Disney not add the expanded universe? Do you think it's because they were going to just pluck from it eventually, or because they just didn't want to have continuity issues?
They had to start slow with the Mandalorian because they, you know, the Boba Fett is obviously the character of Star Wars, no matter what. You know, you can like, you know, Luke, you can like the other guys, but Boba Fett's the one that we all look back to and like, God, that guy is just so cool. Like, you had to do something with him, and starting with the Mandalorian is how you do that. Like, you can't start with the Boba Fett. You can't just answer those questions because nobody's going to want your answers to those questions right away. But I think they did right by starting with the Mandalorian world, and you know, bringing Ahsoka in at the end of that was awesome. Bringing Luke in towards the end of that kind of solidified the world of Star Wars for us. Just like, oh yeah, all the shit's still out there. You know, it still exists.
Yeah, it's actually canon. That's when I cared about the cartoons, when I realized, like, oh no, this is actually part of the story. It's not just some dumbass kid show. And I think now they're plucking from the expanded universe because they can. And if I remember IG-88's story correctly, I think it like I only just read like a little bit of the first few like pages in it, and I didn't finish it. But I remember like he like ripped some guy's arm off, and there was like blood everywhere or something. I don't know. It was like
the Empire
hardcore.
created him to be the perfect killer, and basically to be just like a sentient murder machine. And he decided within a second of being alive that he wasn't going to work for them. So he fucking murders everybody in the room, destroys the lab, kills everybody, you know, gets away, gets to this droid planet where he makes copies of himself. He makes droids. He literally has droids built that look like stormtroopers to infiltrate the Empire. He does so many crazy things. He has like a standoff with Boba Fett. He kind of outsmarts Boba Fett a little bit, but not really, because Boba Fett blows up a whole bunch of IG-88 copies. That whole story is just insane, you know. But yeah, him literally like waking up and within like, you know, a half a second, he's like, yeah, you guys built me to do this, so I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna murder everybody in the room, and just get the fuck out of here. And eventually, like, he does download his being or whatever into the Death Star seconds before Luke destroys it. So it's just like,
So what does that mean he installs his being? Does that mean like he installs his AI or something, or?
yes, he becomes the Death Star. He is the Death Star when it is blown up, the first Death Star. It's IG-8. According to that story, it's him. Like, it would have been a sentient Death Star flying around doing whatever the hell it wants.
Oh shit.
Dude, that would have been it's so insane. Just that idea is just so fucking insane. If they could touch on that in like cartoon form in any way,
I would love to see a Star Wars.
Like, oh my god!
I would love to see a Star Wars multiverse.
Like they're doing it with Marvel. They're doing the what if. Like, why not?
Yeah.
Do those stories. Do the bounty hunter stories. They're crazy.
What if like well, no, don't introduce time travel to Star Wars. I mean, if you did, you could have like young Anakin fighting Darth Vader, or like an older Anakin who never went to the dark side fighting Darth Vader. But like, who cares? We don't need that.
A Star Wars what if situation would be fantastic. Like, Marvel is doing that, and it's just like, you know, what if Anakin didn't go nuts?
Yeah.
You know, what if, you know, Yoda actually paid fucking attention and didn't let what happened happen? You know, there's a lot of what ifs. What if Boba Fett didn't get thrown into the pit in the third movie?
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a lot of stuff they could do with the what if series in Star Wars.
I would just put that out through like novelization or something. I wouldn't make that like show.
They have.
Okay.
That's where the show comes in. Like, there's tons of novelization. Like, what if Luke goes to the dark side, which we were supposed to. Your PlayStation, Fry? It's been working. Yeah. I could hear you the whole time. Oh shit. Fuck's Dooku. Fuck this guy. I mean, we got the bulk of it, right? It sucks. Yeah, there was no connection loss on my side at all. So we might have just been recording the whole time. No, I don't think so.
What the fuck? Oh. Did anything open on that link?
It's
Testing 1, 2. Okay. Okay, now my H6. Ouch! Now my H6 is good.
Yeah, there was no connection loss on my side at all. So we might have just been recording the whole time.
How's it look on your end?
It's working. No, I don't think
No,
so.
I mean the link I sent you.
No, it looks fine.
Oh, okay. Good. I'm just waiting to see. I think it's sending data again. It just can't show it. It has a playback error. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain a smooth stream. I don't know why it's saying that, but this is still recording, luckily. So that's the good news. Oh, wait, I'm starting to get... Fuck! Well, I don't know what the fuck. Fuck it. I just have to go off the preview link, I guess. I don't know if I can hear myself through here or not. I don't know what's going on. We'll just... I don't know. Is this rolling in OBS? This should be. Okay. So, fuck it. We'll just sign out and that'll be it. Alright, so, anyways, we had some technical issues. We probably still do. I'm not sure what's showing. Hey, John, what are you seeing on your phone? Can you hear me on your phone? Oh, wait.
It's not live.
What?
It's not streaming. It's not streaming live, not for me.
It's... Oh, wait, stand by. Stand by. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear. You said it's not streaming live?
No, I don't think so. Or there was a delay.
Oh, yeah, there's going to be a delay. There's going to be like a 30-second delay on these. Is it opening?
Yeah, it was open.
Oh, okay, so it's working then. Okay. Shit, man. You know what? I'm gonna get the intern to help out in some way. I'm gonna send him the link, and if there's a problem, I'm gonna tell him to text me, and if he fucks it up, I'm firing him. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, we had some technical difficulties, but it looks like this thing's working again. Having said that, I'm trying to just get back to my train of thought after dealing with all this tech stuff, because the thing I had plugged into my Mac, because the Mac only has 2 USB drives, and folks, let me tell you something. The Mac has a nice operating system, but Jesus Christ, I'm ready to switch completely to PC, to be honest. Like, Macs are just so limiting, and they're made for children at this point, and this isn't a commercial for Apple. This is just a big fuck you to them right now. But Having said that, John, what are you looking forward to seeing in this show or in the upcoming episodes?
More Crosshair, honestly. We've had 2 or 3.5 episodes that have him actually doing cool stuff. I want to see more of it. I want to see him become leader of the Stormtroopers versus, well, oh shit, I wrote it down. What was that dude's name? Hauser. Hauser will be the leader of the rebel clones, and let's get that going. Let's see the clone rebellion happen.
Was he the guy questioning the orders that was going on?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, he's got the blue helmet. He's been with them for a while. That's what I'm saying. Like, he has allegiances to these people that he's been with for a long time. There's only so much that Order 66 can do. You know, like that little switch has been flipped in their head, and if they see somebody with a lightsaber, yeah, they're probably going to shoot at it. But their personalities, the people that they are, their ability to know right from wrong is still there.
yeah.
And that's kind of unbelievable, actually, that they did that.
I'm glad that they.
Like,
I'm
once
sorry.
they got a hold of Crosshair, they like we saw them like turn up the juice on his chip so that it would like work a little bit better than it was. So he's going to be a little bit more dialed in than everybody else. But if he's a leader, anybody standing against him is in trouble.
Yeah. Yep. I think so. I'm glad to see how this is gonna go. I'm not sure if it'll be Hauser. I think it'll be like all these clones, you know. And once that inhibitor chip begins to wear off, you know, and they start to rebel, I think that'll finally be like the closing end to like all this Clone War stuff. We thought it was over. We really thought, okay, that's it. But no, I mean, if there's still more you can milk, you know, then milk it.
I think
And
it's kind of just beginning.
yeah.
No, because at the beginning of the series, we saw the kickoff of Order 66, and that's literally the beginning of the Empire. And we haven't even really touched on that yet with this series. There's, like we've been complaining about, a million side missions and a bunch of BS. Hopefully we get back to, you know, the beginnings of the rebellion and a possible clone rebellion within that. You know, we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, we had Rebels, but surprisingly, that show wasn't really. It was about the rebellion, but it didn't show like how it got built, really.
No.
You know, it
about
was just
different
more like
sects working apart from each other. Like, we didn't really see a congruent rebellion at all.
no.
It's like one ship, then they bumped into a couple other ships every once in a while. Oh, that was nice. I just threw a whole bunch of people into the pit.
I wonder if I joined single player, if like it would let me like actually join your server eventually. I'm gonna try that. Campaign difficulty, whatever. This game's easy. I haven't played this part of the game in forever. But yeah, having said that, sorry for the technical difficulties. Hopefully everything's working okay and not everything crashed. This is why it's always so nice to have an assistant on hand. But yeah, John, thanks again for coming on. Where can people send their movies to you? Because I don't think I told everyone about Sinema Obscura yet. That's sort of a television show every day, or how much is once a month? Comes out once a month, and it's just a bunch of people, sort of like random movies from across the globe they can send to you.
No, we're on every Monday night, actually,
Oh,
here in
wow.
Chicago. Every Monday night, 11 p.m. It's a public access channel called Can TV. We're lucky enough to get on there. We have an hour-long show every Monday at 11 p.m. It's a little late, but let me tell you, it is worth it. And if you don't live in Chicago or don't live in, I don't know, the United States, if you have the internet, let's start there. We have a Vimeo page, and you can see all 47 episodes on the Vimeo.
Mm-hmm. And a
So
link to the
not only
Vimeo
are we on
page.
TV every night, we're on the internet every single second.
Yeah, there you go.
Which is kind of nice.
Yeah, and you can.
But yeah, so, you know.
Oops, sorry.
I was gonna say we're a collection of short films, art, music videos, all kinds of stuff from all over the world. You do have something to send it to. Send us a link to sinemaobscurachicago at Gmail. Cinema is with an S. Everything else is spelled like it should be. And yeah, we're always looking to add to the library. So send us your independently made cool stuff.
Nice. And there's a link to the Vimeo page in the description of this video and every other Bad Batch review that we have, and you can find that there. All right, well, hopefully everything's working again, and I'm going to start this campaign. So with that said, thank you everyone for joining in, and if my equipment doesn't crash again, maybe I can play a little bit of Republic Commando later. All right, which, John, I don't know if you've ever played it, but it's a pretty sweet game so far.
I haven't.